meteor thing. That's why we go back to. We need Madara. We need Luffy.
Talk your shit. Talk your shit. Ready this off of the tank with this. Get it better. She screaming and yelling. She says he fed more sauces. Spaghetti popping like a fed in this. Feel like a cherry.
Good morning, Starshine. The Earth says hello. It's your boy P back with another video. Today we're getting to the DT Files Part 1, the worst of the worst. If you don't know what the DT Files is, I'm gonna need you to shut up and lock in. I'm not gonna lie to you. I need you to lock. It's a good place to be. All right.
New multi-million page Epstein data dump. I wanted to dive in and look at the most immediately damaging stuff that we have, and also talk about just how badly the government screwed up, because it is bad, like historically bad levels of incompetence. Let's start with this, because we absolutely need the context. This is Todd Blanche, former personal lawyer for Donald Trump, who is now...
He said, former personal lawyer for DT. You get it now? This is the DT Files Part 1. Lock in.
Deputy Attorney General of the United States. On January 30th, 2026, Blanche took the stage for a massive press conference unveiling that the DOJ and the FBI would be releasing about 3.5 million pages of new Epstein files as required by congressional law.
3 million? There's 3 million pages of this. Bro, 3 million sounds ridiculous. Ain't gonna lie. 3 million page, bro? One? Who wrote that up? It had to be a team. You feel me? Had to be a team. 3 million pages, y'all, of the DT Files Part 1.
The important part is at about 4 minutes and 10 seconds in, where he discusses the redaction guidelines and bloviates at length about how strict the criteria was, how hard their staff worked on these redactions, and how nothing was being withheld on the basis of national security. If you actually listened to him and took his words at face value, which you absolutely should not do,
Ever.
This is the most transparent administration ever. The quality of their work is unimpeachable, and the redactions that they made were only to protect victim information, nothing else. Sadly, that is a lie. Over the course of today's video, I'll go through a series of examples in an effort to give as comprehensive a look as I can so far for this file dump. But at the end of it all, I want everyone to consider a question. Is the current governing administration in the United States telling the truth? Here we go. Item number...
No. I'm sorry. Hold up. But Kanye West had the best press run of all time. All right.
Brother, this guy stinks.
I got a better question. When do you think the government is telling you the truth? When do you think the United States government is telling you the truth? That's a way better question. I want y'all to answer that one. Answer that one first.
In this case, EFTA 01660679 and EFTA 01660651. These documents show a collection of insane allegations against Donald Trump. These come from the NTOC, National Threat Operations Center at the FBI, which is where they process and vet public tips. And some of them are very obviously marked as not credible. Others are flagged as no contact made after attempting to follow up with the caller. But here and there, you start finding that some of these reports resulted in a, quote, lead being sent to conduct interviews. Obviously, I can't comment on the authenticity of these allegations overall, but there's something else I found interesting, something far more important in my mind that speaks to the credibility of the DOJ, the Department of Justice itself, and their decision-making when it came to these redactions. Look at these two documents. Separate files, sure, but not always different content. Quote, complainant was spoken to and deemed not credible. Additional research showed 3 separate blank, and then it's all redacted. However, this file isn't. The rest of the sentence says, quote, incidents involving police which requested in mandatory psychiatric evaluations, end quote. That right there, although small in a vacuum, is the very first example in a massive, massive pattern. A pattern where the DOJ is redacting things that make no sense. Things that they have no legal right to withhold, and things that may in fact matter a great deal. We just don't really have the...
Interesting. So, first dude, I don't care for your name no more. I ain't gonna lie. First goof, we'll call him Goofs. He ain't even the first goof. We'll call him goof number 2. We'll call him goof number 5, actually. Goof number 5 he said redactions will only be for the victims. You know what I mean? The victims. I want to say this right here, right now, bro. This shit sickens me. Ain't gonna lie. And how, like, truly disturbed I am about this whole thing. Like, for someone who's been conscious for a pretty long time, someone who's been aware of a lot of things, you know what I mean? It sickens me because we haven't done nothing yet. Nigga is not in jail. Nobody's accountability for nothing. But Bill Cosby is 92 years old. They gotta throw him in jail. And R. Kelly past his prime, villain he may be. Villain all these people may be. But I just want you to stay with me. He in jail fast as fuck. Diddy was in jail fast as fuck. You feel me? A lot of black folks go to jail fast as fuck, boy. Fast. But the president of the United States is a criminal. Never been in jail. It's weird, right? On top of everything that's came out of this, bro, to the victims. I pray that those who are still around find some type of peace and love and aspiration for this world. I know y'all probably seen and been through some of the most scariest, terrifying, life-changing type of things, bro. And I can't even imagine I'm going through things like that. I'm a full-fledged adult with a kid of his own. You feel me? So imagine just being in that mindset of being a kid in that type of situation. I couldn't. I would never wish something like that. That is truly beyond disgusting. You haven't got to. If you don't know, oh my God, bro. But truly, like, my heart, my sentiments, my anger, all of that stems from the care and the feelings I have from, because, you know what I mean? Like, for y'all. But, because it's disgusting, bro. It's sick as hell. It is it's gross. So gross. It's so, oh my God, bro. Like, this, it's inhuman. It's inhuman. It's inhuman. I just want everybody to know, before we go for it, this has nothing to do with politics. Has nothing to do with religion. Has nothing to do with citizenship, or what was it called when people love their country? Whatever it is, bro. Has nothing to do with none of that. This is morale. Being a human being. The same thing you is, same thing I am, same thing everybody else in this bitch is, except for those evil fucks. Humans. Humans, right? I'm talking on a human level. That simple. Skin and blood, organs, nigga. Human. Disgusting. Disgusting. That's how we talking. I don't give a fuck about none of that, bro. We're about being humans at this point. Like fuck all the religion, fuck all the politics. We're talking about being human, bro. Let's get back to it, man. This shit could piss me off before we even get into it. I ain't gonna lie.
The ability to know because we don't have the full picture.
I'm supposed to be nonchalant.
Example,
like,
they literally redacted the word
but this
none
pissed me off
in this file. And you can straight up read some of the other redactions because they're not centered properly. It's a joke. Even still, keeping in mind that the goal here is to analyze everything as objectively as possible, we need to do a bit of a fact check, because despite massively viral social media claims all over the place, these two files were not actually pulled down or deleted immediately after publication. There were some 404 errors displayed on the DOJ website briefly, but they were ultimately resolved within minutes, I think, actually, and the files are now clearly visible again. I'm not sure why that happened. The sheer amount of traffic may very well have played a part, as people flooded into the directory specifically searching for those particular files, and it's entirely possible that the DOJ panicked, deleted them, and then reinstated them, like they appear to have done previously with a different batch of files, but this time I honestly see no indication of that happening. This time it feels like a genuine glitch. Do you want to know what isn't a glitch? This right here, an FD 302 victim interview which is mostly redacted, clearly protecting certain perpetrator names alongside the potential victims. But even from what we see unredacted, quote, Maxwell presented blank to Trump and they had a conversation for approximately 20 minutes. Blank was invited to Mar-a-Lago, where she was given a tour by Trump with Epstein and Maxwell present. Nothing happened between Blank and Trump. By the things that Maxwell said, it was made clear that Blank was available. Maxwell said things like, oh, I think he likes you. Aren't you lucky? This is great. End quote. Put whatever kind of spin on that you want to. But what I see personally is a victim being presented to someone with the obvious implication that they can have her if they want her. These are very serious allegations, and they're not the only ones. The sole focus of the video, by the way, isn't just Donald Trump, so I'm not going to read all of them. But the gist of it is that there are incredibly damaging revelations about how close Trump and Epstein were, so far beyond what we've been told is true, it is no longer possible to hand-wave the files away as just a Democrat hoax. Pivoting back to the first two documents, I also want to point out something else. In between the spreadsheets and the accusations, we have emails in August of 2025. But the thing about these emails is that here we can see that they clearly acknowledge redacting a reporter's name, who explicitly is not a victim. Anthony Sibeli, I think is how you say it, while also on one of the sheets failing to redact an actual potential victim name, Leslie McMichael, in a further display of incompetence. Like I said previously, the video isn't focused solely on Donald Trump, but we're looking at well over 5,000 mentions of his name, and that's only the searchable portions of the archive that they've indexed, which hasn't even all been released so far. Let's move on to someone else, okay? Arguably the largest individual catalyst
It's our president, bro.
Who has been
Niggas really
deliberately
voted for him.
stoking
That's
speculation
crazy.
about Donald
I
Trump
really
and
did that
Jeffrey
shit
Epstein,
twice.
and that is Elon Musk. Elon has long maintained his
What
near
Elon
total
doing?
separation from Epstein. He claims that the photograph of him and Ghislaine Maxwell is just a photobomb that she perpetrated and he had no idea about it. He claims that he was invited to Epstein Island but refused, and he desperately lashes out at anyone who insinuates otherwise over the past several months.
He trying to separate
Quote,
himself.
Shame on Sky News for this.
I don't trust that nigga Elon either. I don't trust Elon either, bro. I don't know. I don't know, Elon. I don't know, man.
Utterly misleading headline. Anyone pushing this false narrative deserves complete contempt. Epstein tried to get me to go to his island, and I refused. Yet they named me even before Prince Andrew, who did visit. End quote. Strong words, very.
Man. Now I think you're guilty, because a guilty man wouldn't go all this way to put somebody else out there. I obviously knew what was going on, bro. That's the thing. That's the other thing, bro. That's the biggest. That's probably just as bad. Probably just as bad. Probably just as bad. Too passionate about this, bro. Too passionate about this shit, bro. I can't do it. I hate talking about it. I honestly do hate talking about this, because I feel like I go through this shit every time, bro. Like it's just there. It's just there. Let's keep
defensive,
going, bro.
but it turns out that
Let's
we
keep going.
actually
Let's keep going.
have emails between Musk, Epstein, and Leslie Groff, one of Epstein's
Interesting.
assistants, reading, quote, Elon to Epstein, will be in the BVI/St. Bart's area over the holidays. Is there a good time to visit? End quote. That's a little bit curious, given his proclamations that Epstein invited him to the island.
Interesting. I thought you. Oh, Eli, see, I just knew it, bro. You're a liar, just like the rest of them. You wanted in, you just couldn't get in. You just wasn't cool enough to get in the club. Imagine that's you, Elon. Actually, bro. You should have just kept pushing, bro. Like, what are you doing? Like you really want to get invited? Like, you want power that bad? Like, what is it that niggas want that bad? Because if you look at all these niggas, if you look at everybody, they all look disgustingly gross and drained. Why would you want to continue to be around that? What power is it that y'all are really hiding? That's what I want to know. Like, fuck all this bullshit, bro. Not saying that none of this is bullshit, bro. But fuck all the bullshit. What are y'all really trying to hide so bad, bro? Like, what is it that you niggas think you done found out? Because I can't tell. Maybe these niggas got clones and time machines and they know how to get reborn and shit. And I don't know. But they acting like they got vibranium stashed somewhere on how secretive and how disgusting they're moving. Like America though. But imagine if this is just not in America. Imagine there's more to the Epstein files. Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
But let's read on. Epstein replies, any day 1st to 8th. Play it by ear if you want. Always space for you. After
Always
which
space
Elon
for
says,
you.
okay, probably the 1st then. They correspond back and forth a bit longer, but anyone who reads this conversation can decidedly say with certainty that
Elon was
Epstein
there.
was not asking Elon to go to his island. Elon was trying to go.
Elon did
that's
go.
not enough? Okay, I can understand that.
He
Some
did go.
people really drank the Kool-Aid. Here's an email from Musk to Epstein after Epstein asks, how many people will you be for the heli to the island? Saying, quote, probably just Tallulah and me. Tallulah was his wife at the time. What day/night will be the wildest party on your island? End quote.
Oh man, niggas weird. I gotta stop saying niggas are weird.
Epstein tried to get me to go to his island, and I refused.
You brought your wife.
Okay.
That's
yeah.
crazy.
Ultimately, for this particular set of exchanges, it doesn't.
So what are we doing now? Like, as American people, this one is for America. What are we doing now? Because the power is in our hands. Elon, Trump, all these rich elites that they call themselves. Can we put them at the bottom of the barrel now? That's what I'm ready for. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, what is y'all plan? Let me know. Let me know y'all plan, bro.
Look like
This shit
Elon
is
actually
crazy.
attended the party in 2012 or 2013, but a couple of months later, in February, we see this thread between Musk and Epstein, seemingly indicating that Epstein was given some kind of private tour of SpaceX. Interestingly, when it comes to Epstein receiving tours of various
SpaceX.
facilities, that's not even the only example. Right here, with this email, we can look at the competence of the redaction team yet again, and it's really not good. In this particular email from March of 2014, Epstein is corresponding with an unknown, redacted individual, and yet in this next thread, document EFTA 0098580, we can see the same exact email, this time unredacted, with the name Alan Jones. There is no justifiable or legal reason to be redacting that man's name. Just for the sake of really hammering this point home so that even the brain-dead fans of Elon Musk are still able to fully comprehend.
I appreciate
Let me read
you.
one more email thread before moving on to the next document.
Absolutely.
This one. December of 2012, which for clarity's sake is after Jeffrey Epstein was convicted of procuring a minor for prostitution in 2008. Quote from Epstein, you are welcome to stay or just come for the day. Plenty of room. I will send heli to get you. End quote. To which Elon replies, do you have any parties planned? I've been working to the edge of sanity this year, and so once my kids head home after Christmas, I really want to hit the party scene in St. Bart's or elsewhere and let loose. The invitation is much appreciated, but a peaceful island experience is the opposite of what I'm looking for. End quote. Still not finished, by the way. Epstein replies, understood.
This nigga, Elon Musk, is... to break it down to like simpler terms, bro, ain't gonna lie, like I feel like he's a type of person, like we all know this type of person. Elon really wants to get into the party, bro. Like he just wants to be involved. That's what it seems like. Elon just really want to be involved. What time is it?
50 seconds.
He just want to be involved. That's what it looks like. That boy is not in the sauce. Perfect. I'm sorry, y'all. Let's get through this. But Elon Musk look like the type of person who will most definitely freaking. He wants to be a part of it so bad. Like it's so sad. Like it's so sad. You're a grown man, wife and kids, bro. Grow up. the fuck up, my guy. You can't. You worry about partying so hard with some freakouts, bro. With some freaks.
We'll see you on St.
You wanna
Barth.
party so hard
The
with some
ratio on my
freaks.
island might make
You're weird.
Delilah uncomfortable, end quote. After which Elon chimes in again, quote, ratio is not a problem for Tallulah, end quote. Honestly, I really don't think I have to spell it out here, but this is Elon Musk asking to join the most notorious pedophile in recent history on his personal island to let loose, deliberately requesting to be there for the wildest parties. And when Epstein indicates ratio, as in a lot of young women, which might make Elon's wife uncomfortable, Elon says, not a problem. And this takes place years after Epstein was convicted of sex crimes. Riddle me that one, Elon fans. Side point, here's two different versions of the same exact page that the DOJ uploaded. One of them redacts Elon's email address, the other redacts metadata. Combined, you can see the full page, obviously, thus rendering all of the redactions void. And they even...
So, I think everybody's just dumb. Everybody's just dumb as hell.
Shouldn't have been censored in the first place. So, double whammy. Amazing.
I'd be stupid, but
now that we're talking about
dumb,
billionaires, however, let's just keep talking about that precious class of person, the billionaires. Remember Bill Gates, notoriously close with Epstein for like decades? Yeah, this email right here appears to show that Gates allegedly requested antibiotics from Epstein so that he could secretly give them to Melinda after contracting an STD from Russian girls. Quote, to add insult to the injury, you then implore me to please delete the emails regarding your STD, your request that I provide you antibiotics that you can surreptitiously give to Melinda, and the description of your penis. You also made it clear to me that I am not to refer to blank, as that is another topic that must remain between the two of us. End quote. I'm just going to throw this out there. Having secrets between you and Jeffrey Epstein that have to remain between the two of you doesn't look very good. In fact, it might make sense.
I don't. Bill Gates. Oh my God. All these white elites, bruh. All these white elites. This is what happens when you make white people rich. I guess.
Some people think
you're
guilty of heinous crimes.
What the fuck?
Maybe. For context, by the way, speaking to Vanity Fair in March of 2022, Melinda Gates said, quote, I did not like that he had meetings with Jeffrey Epstein. No, I made that clear to him. Then saying, after meeting Epstein a single time, quote again, I regretted it the second I walked in the door. He was abhorrent. He was evil personified. My heart breaks for those women, end quote. At various times afterwards, she heavily insinuates that association with Epstein was one of the factors behind their entire divorce. And if I had to speculate here, I would say that sharing secrets with Epstein and trying to sneak her antibiotics could hypothetically have caused a marriage to crumble.
Yeah,
jumping over to an entirely separate but
That's
distinctly
crazy.
kind of related topic.
That's crazy. Bro cheated with some underage Russian girl. And then as the man who set him up, then he caught something, because of course you're going to catch something. Look what you're doing to these fucking kids, right? And then you choose to drug your wife. At least try to. Your wife, nigga? That you just cheated on? With some... This is disgusting. 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 Disgusting.
Theories have been circulating for many, many years that Epstein was an agent of Israeli intelligence, Mossad. And this document right here, a CHS report, confidential human source, directly claims that Donald Trump and Alan Dershowitz as well were co-opted and compromised by Israel. I think it's worth noting that confidential human source intelligence is not a public tip line. It's a cultivated agency source working directly with the FBI prior to that point in time. It's not an agent or an employee, it's a source, which doesn't necessarily mean it's true, by the way, but it's not a random phone call. This is a significantly elevated level of intelligence gathering far beyond just anonymous tips. Still, as with practically every single other document, the DOJ and the FBI, I guess, appear to be breaking the law. Looking at this right here, we can see Harry Tenosodenbyo, however the fuck you say that. That name is clearly visible right here. but then redacted in the very same line. This guy is an Indonesian billionaire politician, by the way, continuing the trend of billionaires being deeply associated with Epstein, but it's difficult to emphasize just how pathetic it is to have the same name illegally redacted on one side, but left plainly visible on the other side of the same line of the same document. A child could quite literally do a better job of redacting these files. Not necessarily a billionaire, yet, I should say, but Howard Lutnick, Secretary of Commerce, appointed by Trump himself, was also visiting Epstein's island as per these files.
Interesting.
Corresponding with Leslie Groff at the time. Once again, Leslie Groff was Epstein's assistant, and this happened in 2012, despite Lutnick in 2025 saying, quote, "In the 6 to 8 steps it takes to get from his house to my house, my wife and I decided that I will never be in the room with that disgusting person ever again," referring to Epstein, after an interaction from 2005. Don't believe me? Okay, sure. That's fine. Here's the actual video. It's a whole lot worse.
No way.
Left.
You got the
in
video?
6 or 8 steps it takes to get from his house to my house, my wife and I decided that I will never be in the room with that disgusting person ever again. So I was never in the room with him socially, for business, or for even philanthropy. If that guy was there, I wasn't going because he's gross.
Oh yeah, dude. He's so bad that Howard Lutnick was directly emailing with Epstein and his assistant about going to lunch on the island in 2012, 7 years after he vowed to never be in the same room with him because he's gross. He really put his foot down on that one, didn't he? Moving on, we have Kevin Warsh, Trump's current pick.
I hate hypocrites. That's all I gotta say. I hate hypocrites. At this point, we're just learning. I gotta pause it here from time to time, just in case they try to, you know what I mean, my shit. But we're just here for learning and educational purposes. Make sure we understand that learning and educational purposes is why we're here today, and we're learning about our rich billionaire elites. You guys, I'm not calling them. We're learning about the rich weirdos we have around.
To replace Jerome Powell as chairman of the Federal Reserve, who
Ain't
also
shit about them
apparently
elite no more,
went
bro.
visiting
It never was
on the island
that money.
for the
That
very
does not
same
make you
party,
elite.
making me wonder just how many people in the current administration were straight up friends with the guy well and truly after his conviction in 2008. However, just to reiterate one of my sort of pillar arguments here, the greatest blunder by far are the redactions. Frankly, I'm honestly baffled. They redacted a fucking Wikipedia article from 2022 about Trump. Look here. This is an archived version from the exact same time period where they took out words in the DOJ files like Italia, DC, and Stone, as in Roger Stone, despite his name appearing 7 other times in the same article. You could not possibly fuck up these redactions any worse if you literally tried to. It's straight up insane how many...
I say this though. Because the redactions are so ass, I keep it a ban. I think because the redactions were so ass, I feel like it was done on purpose at this point. You feel me? I think whoever was doing redactions was like, they want us to cover up this much, but this is some bullshit. I think whoever went through, what, 3 million pages, they said earlier, was it 3 mil? They was like, you know what? They got me doing 3 million pages. Don't nobody in the room want to redact 3 million pages, bro. So let's just make up some BS, and whatever happens, happens, bro. I'm sick of it. They was probably sick of it. The people redacting was like, nah, this is sickening. We just gonna fuck up on purpose. And yeah, more attention, more power to the people. Hopefully that's what they thought. Because yeah, they do got a lot of fuck ups. That's actually crazy. Redactions suck. I ain't gonna lie, the redactions are really trash. He is right.
Completely unnecessary.
He's absolutely right.
And totally irrelevant redactions are in these files. Not to mention the stuff that they just messed up or failed to do. How about this? Here's another troubling exchange. Email from Epstein to an unknown individual. Quote, "Where are you? Are you okay? I loved the torture video." To which the unknown person replies that they're in China. Epstein then says, "Hope to see you." Alarmingly, that's not even the only mention of torture, because in September of 2011, we have these emails between a man named Tancredi Marchiolo and Epstein, in which Epstein says, quote, "What would you like me to do with your friend? Do you want me to try to do her or just torture her?" Tancredi
What?
Salvatore Marchiolo, as far as I can tell, is a hedge fund guy, formerly a partner at Bremner Capital, and now potentially working at a place called Harbor V Limited as a director after using a slightly different name in the filings.
Go get him, YNs.
Not entirely sure who this guy is, but he shows up a lot in these files directly with Epstein, like well over 1,000 mentions. Going on a bit of a tangent right now, some people may not be fully aware of the scope here. This isn't just Epstein and a few friends, and I care more about these other policies. This is a collection of the richest and most powerful people in the entire world who enabled and perpetuated the abuse.
World. Remember what I was just saying? United States. What if it was entire world? Remember the entire world. So just because you're not in US and you know what I mean, thinking you safe from politicians and religious leaders and things like that, I'm sorry. It's up for everything. Now is probably one of the greatest times for a turning point for anything to happen. So please, please, please. I don't even watch the news, but I stay aware. I advise y'all to pay more attention to everything going on. You feel me? This nigga got me playing in the background. Now I hear myself and I can't even continue. Goofy ass nigga. But we're gonna get back to the video.
Use for years. Here's another interesting bit. This is an email chain between Epstein and the Russian deputy economic minister at the time, Sergei Belyakov. Quote from Epstein: "How are you? I need a favor. There is a Russian girl from Moscow, blank, attempting to blackmail a group of powerful businessmen in New York. It is bad for business for everyone involved. She arrived in New York Saturday or last week staying at blank." End quote. And the reply that he gets says, quote, "Give me a few days to get information about her," followed by, "Hi, Jeffrey. Tomorrow I'm meeting with a guy who knows her / about her. If you have any details about case you have mentioned, it could help." End quote.
He about to get her
In
off.
response, Epstein says, "Saying powerful men taking advantage of women like her, etc." And I don't know what eventually happened to this poor girl, but I really don't think that they just bought her donuts and said, "Hey, please stop." We are being told by the Trump administration, with their intentionally compromised law enforcement agencies, that there was no blackmail ring. Epstein was alone. There were no other prosecutable leads, no other perpetrators to investigate or involved or trafficking to anyone or by anyone, and that we should shut up and stop asking questions. The FBI director has been saying that. The attorney general has been saying that. All of his top officials are backing him when they say that there's nothing to see. Meanwhile, we have literal correspondence between Epstein and Russian officials about a young woman blackmailing powerful businessmen
Russian.
because they took advantage of her, which was the entire premise of what Epstein did. And yet,
I wonder if that has anything to do with, like, yeah, I mean, because it was a Russian girl. I feel like a Russian girl was involved before. Russia, that's not America, but Russia, that's overseas, ain't it? If he can get there, Trump and them can. Who else is rich and around the world? You might want to start looking at them.
also this Tancredi Marchiolo guy, I mean, you have people corresponding with Epstein thousands of times saying that they're giving and receiving torture videos from him, right? And yet,
Interesting.
somehow
Torture
this painfully
videos.
self-evident spiderweb of perpetrators and their sick, twisted social network have faced zero consequences. The Epstein files may not result in widespread accountability, okay? Dejectedly, I'm accepting that fact. But the one thing that they have done is pull back the curtain for a whole lot of people on who exactly runs the world. They're not like you and me. They're fucking evil. I could go on and on and on, so for the sake of the video not being 10 hours long, here's one final critical document.
I appreciate
If you
you.
search during the first party in the DOJ archive, you get 3 items, 1 in dataset 9 and 2 in dataset 10. This is an extremely graphic accusation against Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein, alleging a victim that was only 13 years old. And each of these 3 documents has different redactions. Document 1 has address, case number, and half of the names redacted. Document 2 redacts the names, but not the address or the case number. and document 3 only redacts half of the address and the case number, but not the names. Collectively, in my view, these 3 documents perfectly exemplify the incompetence of the Epstein cover-up. All 3 of them fail, in every single conceivable sense of the word, to not only uphold the law as ordered by Congress, but also to protect personal information and the identities of potential victims, while also over-redacting the case number, with no justification, in a triple threat display of abject, complete, disgusting, and shameful failure. This administration is a corrupt, incompetent circus. Genuinely, the only thing that I can think of now is that they used an AI program to do these redactions. Unironically, I think that's like the most likely situation. Nothing else explains why random words would be redacted, fragments of public Wikipedia articles censored, with so many duplicate documents that all have different portions removed. Everybody gets hyperbolic on YouTube, I understand that totally, but this is the most pathetic display I have ever seen from the United States government. As kids, even as young adults for that matter, people often think, well, it's a big official agency, therefore they must have at least some experts in the room, and it makes sense. Why wouldn't they? We get caught in this sort of intellectual trap of assuming that people in those positions of authority are somehow deserving of that position.
No, they're not.
By nature of them
No,
having
no,
it, they must be.
No, 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 no. I appreciate you, bro. Great video. Go closest went off like this though. Those people in those positions don't know what the fuck they're doing anymore. They never did. Them niggas are all over 50 years old. They probably forgotten half of the shit they wrote down this morning. Like let's really be a band. Let's really be a band. And everybody else is like a goddamn nepo baby placed in, you know what I mean? You know how people be like in music, stars fall out of the sky and boom, they just become a superstar. Had to be a setup. This is the same shit. You don't think if they do it in music, they won't do it where they can actually have power? Come on. Where you been living? If you lived in America for over 20 years, where you been living? I don't think you got to be that old. Like I said, I was a young boy. I already knew how fucked up shit was. I just didn't have to deal with it yet. You know? So it's like, we gotta do something. We gotta do something. I'm not here to solve no problems. I don't know what the fuck to do. I ain't go to school for this. But you know what's crazy? I don't think they went to school for it either. To be in their position, I don't think they really went to school for it. I don't think they did. I know they did. Not all of them. Fuck no. So, because of that, because there's literally no requirements of any of this shit anymore, it doesn't matter. And all it is just a green in your pocket or in your bank account or how much your name is worth around. Fuck all of them. Fuck all their money and fuck all their names. Deadass. This is what I think. We gotta reset the whole system. I ain't gonna lie. Meteor. Huh. Boom. So, what's up? Meteor. We're done. Get rid of it, bro. Like, hey. Like, it's a joke, but not really, though. Not really, because there has to be, we have to set up qualifications for every position within the government, bro. We have to set up background checks of the like, the crazy thing is, I don't think none of that can even happen. So I don't really want to give y'all no fucking answers. Because it's not going to happen. Because the same people who's supposed to check them aren't getting checked themselves. If no one's checking nobody, ain't shit going to get fixed, bro. If anybody get paid off or get fucked off, then what's the point? That's why we go back to the meteor thing. That's why we go back to, we need Madara. We need Luffy. You know what I mean? We need niggas like that around, but we'll see. We'll see, man. If you didn't know, now you know. The DT Files Part 1. This is just some of the worst. We may get into some other stuff just to learn some other information, because he was just talking about some of the worst things and about the file itself, and I know some other videos may have different takes and outlooks on it, so I do want to see other people's perspectives about this whole thing. But until next time, man, y'all be safe out there. God bless. Love, 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 love yourself and everyone around you. It's been your boy, Prince. Peace. Hey.